we're back. So, last we left off, our party, our band, our expedition has finally found a doctor of ill repute, but a doctor nonetheless that has in fact patched up the crew here, as well as ran into a friendly face, a familiar face even. One Oliver Walsh, another apprentice of Magister Raina Reichenbach, Luther's mistress, instructor, one might say. However, he was concealed heavily. He still is wearing his red scholarly robes. They're just concealed underneath layers of clothing, as if he's purposely keeping himself concealed in a way.
Is he covered in soot?
His face is a little dingy.
Okay.
But the rest of it, not so much.
He hasn't been demoted to coal carrying duties yet.
Exactly.
Luther,
That's still your job.
Luther, we must conceal you. Please, bring the extra cloak.
Huh?
As one of the bold bastards brings it looks like just like a thick blanket. Yes, wrap it around him. You put it over your shoulders and wrap it over you. It's just a blanket, pretty much like a poncho, where you're putting it on your head and draping it around
what
the
is
sides.
happening?
We cannot walk freely around town. I'll tell you more as we go to see the mistress. What's left of the expedition is gathered. They're having a meeting tonight, even.
Left the expedition.
I better not say any more than that. Come quickly. What? The wagons?
It's been a long journey. We crashed days away. A desert.
I know. Most of the expedition is lost, Luther.
No.
No more. I guess we can bring the wagons. I don't know. Just come quickly.
We found valuables.
You're all talking on the way up?
Yeah, I'm gonna get if he's a little bit ahead of us, leading us with the bold bastards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get in the wagon. I'm gonna turn to I guess Wolfram and Lucian are in this one, and then Henry and Nog are in the other one.
Yeah.
Or Nog's next to it.
Yeah.
Luther's gonna turn to Wolfram and Lucian and say, my friends, in a hushed tone, you have seen me cast some spells a few days together. Perhaps you would keep that quiet between our little band here.
No, what do you mean? When I make a great shot, I brag to all of my company mates. Surely you want...
No, it's different for us apprentices. We're the helpers to the majesty of our mistress. So she'd be quite cross. She found out that I was casting spells without permission, not an official tutoring session. So if we could keep that. Just don't talk about it, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Of course.
You see Luther starting to sweat.
Sweat a little bit.
He's usually pretty good with heat. He doesn't. He's resistant to fire, so he doesn't sweat too much. He's also very attractive. So it doesn't happen too often, but now you see it. I mean, sweat.
Sweating.
Running down his dirt-covered face as he's thrown in the dirt.
If you wish it, we will do it. But I must warn you, my friend, life of concealment is a bitter drought.
I'll take my chance. And Luther just kind of grips up on the reins real tight.
As you guys are being led through the old portion of the city, out of the docks, into kind of like the market area, through a few of the waypoints, You pass by a handful of almshouses, which you passed by on the way in as well. These large buildings where you see people getting food. They go in and they come out with food in hand. Usually they're called almshouses because usually it's like dates and various other generic kind of like food that you could give someone in this part of the world. You do see. You do come across at least one not very well kept temple. It is one of the Temple of the Jinn. There are basically statues on the inside, and there are offerings left around the statues. If you guys were to like peek through the opening, it's very kind of open air, open to the elements kind of structure. You see a couple people like bringing by things. More notable would be as night was cresting, I forgot about this, all of you would hear bells sounding. And many people would stop what they were doing and they would begin to muttering prayers to the Jinn right around as the sun was setting. A similar thing will happen when the sun rises again, as there is a religious subtext about this that is foreign to most of you. As you make your way through the poor district, you see women scantily clad, kind of walking around, more so than during the day. Most of their faces covered, but much of their body not. Men as well, in similar fashion. You come across plenty of drunkards. You do hear a rather loud rabble-rousing coming from a decently sized establishment known as collectively as the Watering Hole, and it's right on the edge of the dock. It used to be a large fish market at one point. It has a bit of a reputation that you guys might find out someday. Who knows? You also pass by a closed shop on your way out called Pucel's, written in 3 different languages, written in what Lucien would recognize as Brettonian, also Reichsspiel, and in Arabian. And there's like the cross. There's like a shield on the sign with a crossed sword and a hammer behind it. Damn gnats I have in my house. Fucking things. Bastards. All right. So you pass by a few of those places on your way out, and you're moving towards the seawall slowly but surely. You're taking a very winding path to do so. You get to the seawall, and there are only a handful of checkpoints that can get you past the wall into the upper portion of Lashik. The one you approach has 6 guards. 2 of them guarding the large open the gateway, which is currently closed, but there are 2 of them down on the ground. 4 more up on the wall itself. The 4 on the upper wall have what appear to be bows at the ready, as well as spears. And of course, the ones on the ground also have spears, and it looks like they also have scimitars tucked into their belts. They're heavily armored as well, in a similar fashion to much of the other guards around the city. Same style. As your caravan approaches, with Oliver leading, the bold bastards behind him, he approaches the guards, who look up and they begin to like go back and forth. One of the guards puts his hands up and motions towards all of you, and like gets a little bit irate for a minute. They're speaking in Arabian, which, Luther, you didn't realize Oliver can speak Arabian. Might be more useful than you. As he does so, damn it. As you watch him say it, and as they go back and forth, he finally like relents, and then you see a gold piece flash and some of the dim light, exchange hands with the guard, who then waves everyone through. The doors open, revealing a much more well-kept and paved road, cobblestone road, essentially. As you guys walk into it, it's almost like you're going to a different city entirely. It smells more of incense. There's an aroma in the air. There are bushels of exotic flowers. And while there are not many people walking around this time of night, you do see a few odd collections of wealthier-looking gentlemen kind of walking around with some destination in mind. Perhaps a party, perhaps, who knows, a little fun, maybe. As you are led through a large square, you see a open air, what appears to be a bar of some kind. There's music spilling out of it. This like Arabian Nights kind of like music stuff. There's a very high-class clientele you guys are judging as you're moseying on by. Definitely not something you, especially in your current state, would be allowed to even attend. There appear to be several city guard that are kind of standing watch around the structure as well. You see several buildings next to it that are probably some kind of inn, and a large sign that also in Reichsbill announces this as the Emerald Oasis. But as you are led past that, you're led to it is not a palace, but it is also not just a house. You're led to a compound-like structure where Oliver motions. He says, he looks back to the rest of you. I think we can bring the wagons in, but just leave them in the courtyard. There are two rather large men. They appear to be Arabians, with spears and a shield. They are obviously not city guard. They're not wearing the same vestments of a city guard, but they are guards of some kind. They recognize Oliver and allow you guys to pass within the walls. There is a small wall, and I guess I just refer to this as a compound. There's multiple buildings, one larger building, two smaller buildings on the inside of this walled off manor. Your two wagons are left in the courtyard, and you see there are a further 5 or 6 more guards that you see. Two of them up on a rooftop, nearby rooftop kind of vantage point, kind of lookouts essentially. There are various torches and sconces that are lit, lighting the area dimly. Especially along the walls, you do see a regular patrol. Two guards kind of making a constant clockwise patrol.
Are any of the guards armed with firearms, or it's all?
The two up in the watchtower area do in fact have rifles.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
As Oliver gathers the bull bastards kind of disperse and go elsewhere. He motions to all of you. Come. This is the house of Master Hoff. He is a notable citizen in this this pit of sin that we find ourselves in. Roland Hoff. He's a dignitary from the Empire. This is a bit of a small embassy for our people here in Lashik. I had no idea, but the mistress says that he is somewhat known to her. But he is given us shelter for now. Please, come in. The meeting should be starting at any moment. The mistress will want us to speak to us all.
Some feet are camel oxen, camel.
Oh yes, the strange creatures. He kind of whistles up, and you see somebody nod. It has been taken care of.
I'll be careful of the last one with the cage. Big snake in there.
Luther, what have you been doing?
Well, surely I will tell you a great tale of heroism and bravery, and unfortunately, pain and suffering. But yes, let's continue. We should not keep the mistress waiting.
Yes, very well, very well. Quickly. There's a bit of pep in his step as he moves inside to this large manor. It is furnished in the Arabian style as you move in, but with little mismatches of the empire here and there, little things sticking out. There's like a suit of armor nearby as soon as you walk through the door. But in some of the structures, like open air, like letting the natural wind of the desert kind of flow in at night and cool your house and various things of that nature. You are led through a parlor-like room, and then there is another room with 2 double doors that are currently closed. He says, "All right, is everyone here? Let's go inside." He opens the door, and there's a large table, and there are a collection of individuals currently already gathered around it, talking to each other. Some might say arguing to one another, as they all turn and stare at the 6 of you, because Oliver's like, "Oh my." They all stare, and everything gets quiet as they look back. You see a prominent woman, Luther, the only one in the room, in fact, wearing red robes, a collection of iron keys dangling about her person, a staff of similar iron with a interesting cage-like design at the top of it, with a burning flame. Her hair, long, down the back to the side. Of course, red. Indeed. Kind of curled at the tips as if it was almost like it's constantly like going through like a hair dryer. She has spectacles on currently, and she was looking over a map. She takes them off, looks towards you. Her dress is slit down her left leg, very high, in fact, much higher than your average noblewoman. Very like thigh-high leather boots. As you all approach, she straightens up, looks over. "You finally made it, Luther."
Sorry I'm late, mistress.
She scowls at you. Oliver looks to you, and then looks down. "Over there," she points to a corner.
Of course, mistress, of course.
You and Oliver both kind of walk over to the corner together and stand there. Similarly, at this table, Wolfram and Lucian, you see a man, darker skinned, kind of shaggy hair, not extremely long, maybe like shoulder length. It's kind of bound up in like a not a full man bun, like just the top man bun. I don't know what you call that. Still with the shaggy hair on the bottom. Whatever, it doesn't matter what it is.
A half pony.
Half pony. There we go. He's got the half pony going.
Top knot.
Top whatever. He is kind of lounging back in a chair, kind of nonchalantly. There's a dagger that he's currently kind of like whittling back and forth on a large, very expensive looking like wooden table. And you would recognize this man as Nazaro Dialia, or Nine Lives, the leader of the Bold Bastards. He sees the 2 of you. "Ah, Wolfram, Lucian, you made it."
As I live and breathe, I go and I grasp his hand and
Now is not much of a time for merriment, but we will get there. We will get there.
Of course.
I see. See, they're not all dead. As he points towards Nog, talking aloud to the rest of the table. Henry, if you would like to describe the other gentleman in the room.
Sir Otto Stimler. Otto would be helmetless, bald, like shaved head. You see, sitting in his chair. It's a very large man, about 6 foot, 6'1". He has a very thick mustache that, of course, in the imperial style, kind of grows and like curls, but he also has the chops that come down and connect to it as well.
Yeah.
Judging by his age, you would guess he's probably in his late 40s, maybe early 50s, but he looks older, more has aged the man. He has a scar across his cheek, and if he is in armor, he would have a jaguar pelt kind of draped across over his shoulder.
Yes, he is wearing his armor currently, and he is sitting. But when he sees you, he kind of stands. My boy, I thought you gone.
Times have been tough, but with the help of these men, I've made it here.
Good. At this point, the lady speaks up. This is all well and good, gentlemen, but I believe the merriment and the reunion can wait. We have more important matters at hand. Oh, yes, Miss Reichenbach, that is surely the case. You see an old man. Still has a somewhat sturdy frame about him, but an old man. Head balding. A thick like white, a beard, a mustache, goatee, relatively thick. Loose, almost Arabian robes, kind of around his person. There are two more guards in this area. They are at each of the corners of the room behind this man, where he's kind of sitting at the equivalent of the head of the table. And judging by whose house you're in, you all believe this must be the host of this get together, Roland Hoff. Yes, we must get everything in order for sure. I aid you in any way I can. Thank you, Lord Hoff. As I was saying, the knights are a loss, but one we can live without. Otto, my lady, I assure you that one of us knights is worth 10 of your regular soldiers. Plus, we know the land. If we could only search longer for Lord Helmet, what is your rank again? I am a knight, but are you the commander? No, my lady. I am no lady. You will refer to me as Magister. There are two more Magisters in the room as well. One of them, he's kind of portly a little bit. Kind of has like red rosy cheeks. And he kind of has just a whimsical look about him, as he kind of like chuckles a little bit, and you would recognize him, Luther, as Magister Aldebrand Achenbach. And as he chuckles, a more stern-faced, scowling mage whose hair is somewhat moving on its own, as if it was alight with flame. Another Magister has both hands, slams them on the table. Enough of this. We have more important matters to attend to than your petty squabbling. and you would recognize Magister Elmer Weiss. I assure your title means much to you, Magister Reichenbach, but that is of little consequence when our mission is in jeopardy. As she looks like she's moving to retort. Yes, once again, I am interested in why I was summoned to begin with. You know my current state of affairs. I cannot aid you in many ways. I am down to a single regiment of gunner and 2 regiment militia. I have nothing else. I must collect more. I must put out feelers. We have nothing. Well, as our bold bastard in the room has put it, yes, we have very little. All we have at our disposal now are 3 magisters, well, 2.5, as she looks towards Aldebrand. A handful of apprentices. And what do you have to your name again? Knight? 5 good knights and our squires. Yes, a fine expedition this has been. And she just kind of rubs her forehead. Yes, my lady, do not sorrow. Much can be found and had within this city. It is a different culture than ours, but it is a one of, well, might makes right, and the coin is above all. Anything can be bought and sold within the city of Corsairs, and I have made quite the name for myself doing so. Of course, Lord Haas. Perhaps, well, as she looks towards Luther, then the rest of you. Do any of you have opinions on this, since you so rudely interrupted?
Luther, I guess, I had pictured Luther's facing the corner, but whispers to Oliver, is she talking to us?
I think so. I'm scared. I'm scared, Luther.
No, I know. Quickly, sword, shield, and gun. All right. 1, 2, 3, shoot! And I don't know who wins. I assume Luther loses.
Yep, it's Luther.
Damn it. Mistress, I have no opinion whatsoever. Whatever you deem is
good,
is most prudent. Oh, yes, and turns back around.
Come now, my lady. It is Magister. Yes. I think you just need a good tussle.
Oh, God.
Her eyes flash. There's a little bit of flame kind of like out of the wink of her eye. He just kind of chuckles to himself. Come now, gentlemen. If honestly, you have no money to pay me. I don't see why I am even here. You have nothing.
That's not in. Luther says, starts to say something.
She stares
not
at
entirely.
You in the corner.
Mistress, please, may I say something?
There is no response from her. She just stares at you.
In our journey here with Sheik, Mistress, we
Magister
did
Elmer
come across...
slams his fist on the table. Spit it out, boy!
Oh, yes. We did come across apparently something pretty valuable. A beast, a large serpent. Apparently the Sultan here and quite enamored with exotic creatures. They told they could fetch a high price. I do not know if it's enough to pay for Senor Nazaro's troops, but perhaps a down payment.
At this point, the Lord of the House. Ah, one of the. What color is it, my good man?
Apparently, it's albino. White.
Oh, yes. This is a great find. This will be a great boon for us. Should we bring it? I could make the necessary connections. All is not lost. We may have time to salvage this. Huh. You did well, Luther. And she kind of turns away from you. This is all well and good. Perhaps we can make some deal, but we still will need more serviceable troops, and with enough time, I believe I could probably track down the knights. I just need time. Nazaro speaks up once again. Well, if I'm going to gather the necessary men, if I have them come from Talea, it could take at least a month, maybe more. If we get local troops, we could do better. Depending on how much you have to offer, we could even work out deal with Sultan. Take some guard off hand. It's not unheard of in these parts. There's plenty of what they call uniki purchase in the market. Make good warrior. And many ogre tribe, well, not tribe, but group make base in Corsair. Well, all right. It seems no matter what we do, we're going to have to spend a little time here. Very well. We have something in order at least. Luther, Oliver, expect you in my quarters.
Yeah.
Yes. I do not have a lot of room. Most of air. What was your name? I can't pronounce it. Dialia. Yes. Most of his men have been staying in the lower quarter. But if you need a cleanup, maybe you could stay just the night near the stable. He points towards Wolfram, Lucian, and Nog.
That would be most fair. Thank you.
Yes, there's a large bath where we clean the horses. You could bathe yourselves in.
Better than an icy stream. Thank you again, my lord.
Henry, Otto kind of like walks away from the table at this point, puts his hand on your shoulder. We have our own quarters, boy. We'll find the commander. Don't worry. We'll get this strong. We'll get this put in order. There's only a handful of us now. One more good arm with you in tow, Henry.
Yes, sir.
Come. And he motions for you to follow him, Henry.
I follow.
As Henry leaves the room, Wolfram, Nog, and Lucian are led out to the stable to take a bath. Luther and Oliver are brought to the Luther, you are led by Oliver to the private chamber of the Magister, Rainer Reichenbach. It seems like a humble structure. It's within the main part of the house. Henry, you're staying in a guest house with a few of the other knights within the compound. But Luther, as you are led to the room, you hear panting sounds from inside. And Oliver just kind of shakes his head. Oh no. What did she do this time? As she slowly opens the door and
I think he clapped.
within you see a woman. I should say girl. She's probably about 16 or so. Dressed in similar robes as Luther and Oliver. Another apprentice. Mistress Raina's other apprentice. Her name is Elma. And Elma Frisch. I can't fucking pronounce that. Frisch. Frisch? Elma Frisch. Yeah. But you see her. She is currently holding a container of hot coals with her, and it looks like she's standing perfectly straight upwards. Her arms are shaking from the effort. She's breathing heavily as both Luther and Oliver step into the room. Oliver looks to her. You see Lady Raina in the corner, currently sitting at a mirror, combing her hair. That's enough, Elma. You may put it down. Oh! She puts it down. And that it was only 4 hours this time. See you don't mess it up again. Yes, mistress. And she very shakily moves to the side of the room and just kind of like collapses in a corner. There's basically like a bedroll that's been laid out on the floor for her. You notice there's another one next to that where you're assuming Oliver's probably sleeping, very close to the fireplace that is openly burning in this room. It is hot as hell in here. Extremely hot, uncomfortably hot. To most people, to the four of you, not so much. Oliver begins to move towards the mistress. Please, mistress, allow me. He approaches to try to grab a hold of the comb. She looks back at him, and he freezes in place. And she stands up. Right across the face. Oh! As he hits the ground. How dare you embarrass me in front of all of them? He's on the ground, clutching his face. I'm sorry, mistress. I'm sorry. She takes one of her pointed boots and steps onto his back, pushing his face into the floor. I'm sorry. You better be sorry. That'll be 2 hours of coal work for you. Get the shoveling. Yes, mistress. As he moves over towards he scrambles out from under her boot towards the fireplace, he starts rapidly shoveling in some of the coals back and forth. She looks back towards you, Luther. Well?
Yes, mistress.
She tilts her head, looking at you. What have you done?
Let me tell you, mistress, it started with that boat ride. I'd never been on a vessel before. I hurled over the side for, I don't know, hours. I kept on thinking, if only Mrs. Raina was here, she surely would protect me from these raiders who attacked us out of nowhere. Like a leviathan from the sea itself. Numerous hulking monsters boarded the ship. My compatriots fought them off. I tried my best too, Mrs. Raina. I'll have you know. But they overwhelmed me and beat me to a pulp. And dislocated my arm. It was terrible. I thought the worst was over. Let me tell you, it wasn't, Mrs. Raina. A giant beast from the water came off and destroyed our ship, knocked us onto the beach. There was only a few of us left at this point. all of us injured in some way. Except for Wolfram, he was lucky on that part. We were assaulted by these barbarians. Attacked us, just for being here. We overpowered them. And through your training, of course, I remembered my martial prowess with my staff. And I take the staff and I kind of talk it down. And we befriended some of these savages. Apparently, they enslave each other. Quite barbaric. We befriended someone. They guided us to Lashik. Along the way, we took some of the snake, and we made it to the city. And we talked to some horrible dockmaster. Did not like the Empire, I tell you. I didn't hold it against them, though, because I knew I was in a far-off land. And we then went and sold some things. Went to the doctor to try to patch us up, and then that's when I met Oliver. He came and guided me to you, mistress. It was all a blur, really. A week has passed, perhaps. I lost track of time. Oliver said you wanted to see us right away, so we ran in right away up to the meeting room. It was completely his idea. And isn't that right, Oliver?
Oliver shoveling coal. Yes, mistress, it was my idea.
Yes, it was. And here I am now. I'm sorry for my appearance, mistress. I was mugged in the city.
She takes her staff and holds it out and puts it under your chin, Luther.
Huh.
No. What have you done?
I believe I've told you, mistress.
Take off your clothes. Disrobe now.
You better hope she finds you attractive.
Luther begins to takes his robes off. He takes his robe off. He's left in nothing but his skivvies by the time he's done, laid bare. She looks at you closely. She begins to circle around you like a shark circling its prey. There's something different about you, Luther. Nothing you want to tell me?
See, battle, mistress.
She looks closely over your shoulder a few times. Her eyes begin to glow. Red hot. Dancing with what might say magical sight. She looks you over head to toe, Luther. There's something off about you, Luther. Something different.
I have seen violence, mistress. It has changed me, I fear.
She pulls her staff back to strike you. She pulls it back as you flinch. She stops. And you don't see it. But she places the staff back down. Then turns away from you, Luther. Goes back to the mirror. Put your clothes back on.
Thank you, mistress.
We'll deal with this later. Well, sounds like you've had quite the adventure, Luther. While you were off having your grand time in the desert, I have been here dealing with these fools. She kind of says that towards the other two apprentices, insinuating many others, of course. Surely you realize that storm was not natural, Luther. There's been nothing natural about the occurrence thus far. There is some far darker power at work here. Something prying at the seams. Like somebody knew where we were going to be ahead of time. As if this was all planned. Of course, Aldobrand doesn't think anything of it. He thinks it's just the whims of magic, but Elmer knows something. Magister Weiss is definitely... He's been acting strangely since we've gotten here. We will need to keep an eye on him, Luther. You understand? Good.
He sense treachery.
I will not say treachery or not, but his behavior has been more erratic than usual. And while I trust him as a member of our order, I suspect he may know more than he lets on. Regardless, Luther, it is not yet important enough for you to know the reason of our expedition. But it is important for you to realize that much is at stake. And if I have been too harsh on you, I apologize.
Never, mistress. I know these are lessons of love and goodwill.
Good. I fear there are many dark days ahead of us. We will need to gather strength. How do you feel about the companions that you rode in with? Tell me about this Wolfram.
I don't know much about the man, and not divulged too much of his past to me. He seems to be a crack shot with his gun, his rifle. I believe he has worked for Signor Nazaro before.
And
he is from the Empire, though.
What about the Breton, Lucien?
He seems to be some sort of agile fighter. He does speak in a Breton accent, but I believe he's from the Empire as well. Wolfram and him seem to have a familiarity with one another.
Do you trust the squire? Or is he as clouded in judgment as his master?
The squire seems to be a capable fighter. I will say I was surprised by all of the warriors and their ability to combat the numerous enemies we fought. But as far as clouded, unfortunately, I got to be quite honest with you, Mistress, he was unconscious for about 4 days. I've only been around the man a short while. He seems to walk on up stronger, though. It's quite curious. I didn't understand it myself. He's knocked out, broken ribs, wakes up, and starts to wield his sword with more ferocity and anger. Very strange.
And the ogre, does he seem reliable?
He didn't eat us, madam. And as far as ogres go, that's pretty good. Not much more to say about him there. He was able to kill numerous of our enemies. Numerous enemies that we came across. I saw him fell some creatures on the side of the road, and 3 of them in one stroke.
She stands up at this point. She looks over towards your fellow apprentices. Leave us. Oh. Elma and Oliver quickly stand up and shuffle out of the room. The door closes behind them.
At them with fearful eyes.
As the door closes, she says, "There's something behind you, Luther." You look behind you, you see nothing. She says, "No. Go to the mirror."
Luther goes to the mirror.
Sit down.
Sits on Floor. I
Sit
guess.
on Mistress Raina's chair.
Oh, okay.
You sit on her chair with your filthy bottom, excuse me.
Bosom?
Filthy bottom.
Interesting.
Filthy bosom
Okay.
bottom. Yeah, weird. As you sit down, you look into the mirror. You see nothing, Luther.
It's just I don't see it.
Look closer. And as you sit there and look, start to see something over your right shoulder. Just a moment, like wisps of smoke. And what looks to be like a hand on your shoulder.
Ah.
You kind of like wipe it away. It's not there. Your hand moves right through it, whatever it is.
Mistress, what is it?
As your lady, you see her step up behind you and places her hand on your other shoulder. Luther, you've been very bad, haven't you? And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of
Oh man,
The Expedition of the Damned.
You've been a bad boy, Luther.
bad
someone's about to
boy.
get punished. Yeah,
Oh,
Luther's about to
yes.
put in some work. Yeah.
Gonna get a
no.
whoopie whoop.
Well,
Awesome.
Well, I was getting hot there.
A little hot, a little bothered,
Yeah.
a little hot and bothered.
Well, gentlemen, you made it. You made it. This does not count as your
Looks like
short-term
we
goal,
made
just so you know.
it.
Damn
You
it.
still are missing the Knight Commander.
That's true, I guess.
Knight Commander of the Realm.
Not the realm, but yes.
listen.
However, you know, we basically next session we will be doing endeavors.
Oh,
You can look through the book towards endeavors you would like to do. There's many optional endeavors you could try. You're each going to get 2. I would recommend, because we're going to be spending a little over a month here, I would recommend if you want to spend some gold that you use an endeavor to do so. Otherwise, it all goes away. You guys know that.
Yeah.
are we going to do endeavors at the start or the end?
We'll do them at the start. Before we officially close, though, I felt like this would be a great time for us to do it now.
What are we doing now?
I need all of you with critical wounds, long-lasting wounds. So that is Henry, Nog, and Lucian.
Yeah.
I need the 3 of you to roll me a endurance test. You do get a plus 20 to this roll.
Endurance plus 12, so that makes it an 80.
Oh, fuck yes.
59 against an 80.
Okay. Henry did
40
well.
out of 50.
God, that's lucky for you. Lucian, is that a fail?
Can I use my fortune point on this?
Do you have any left?
He has one.
They-
He only used
still
one
has one?
earlier.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's only used one.
yeah. You can use it.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
good. So none of you suffer any permanent, long-lasting effects of your grievous
Good.
injuries because they can be bad.
Yes.
They can be quite bad if something doesn't quite heal the way it's supposed to. But you guys did good enough that that's not going to be that much of a problem. And that's it. So you guys are going to heal appropriately. By the time we pick up, Nog will have just been off the mend, essentially. That's where we're going to pick up at. Lots of stuff is going to be happening in between. It's just not on camera. It'll be stuff that we'll either have to find out through story or dialogue or what all has been happening thus far to this point when we finally pick up again.
What have you?
I know. So, what's your favorite moments of the night? You know, why not? Let's go ahead and do it. You know, let's start off with Wolfram. Favorite moments of the night, Wolfram.
Oh man, that whole sexy scene we just went through for the past hour. Oh my god. I love the Skaven, as all the listeners do. Jumbo think is a great Skaven. And the idea of poor Luther, oh, man, that scene of just that was just so funny to me, of Luther and the Magister. I'm so sorry. I'm still thinking about it. It's getting me hot. But no, my favorite part was actually poor Luther getting slammed in the head by some kind of missile weapon, falling off, taking 6 wounds, a ton of damage, and being carried away, Marion from Indiana Jones style, into the crowd by some Skaven. It's right there, chef's kiss.
It happens. It does in fact happen. How about Henry Berthold?
Henry, his favorite part of the night was watching Luther's spine shrivel up and disappear in the presence of his Magister. He was a different man in that room.
He was a much different man in that room. All that gusto. Where it went.
Go face the corner, Luther. I don't want to look at you.
I don't think I was too gusto before, but
Nog! Favorite moments of the night?
Yeah. Well, I must say, it was interesting to watch, Luther get hauled off as he were, but clearing off the crowd, taking care of Lolly and Dolly as I did, keeping things nice and tidy there with the carts. Getting the arm mended up.
Yep.
And just some excellent role play.
You're gonna be a new man, Nog. When we pick up next session, you'll be a new man. You'll be whole again. For the first time.
Smasherton. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you think you saw him kill some people before? Dear God, it's gonna get out of control now.
Buckle up.
You're a machine.
Lucian. Favorite moments of the night?
It was definitely getting to chase down those Skaven and fill them full of holes.
I will say, I was surprised. I was surprised you made it that quickly too. I was like, damn, it's that quick.
I finally had some hot rolls.
Hot rolls, good. Got them out there. And then last but not least, Luther. Favorite moment of the night, Luther?
There's a lot of good moments through the night. My favorite, probably, to be honest, was the council there at the end. I thought you did a really good job doing all different voices. I know it's not easy to have a conversation with yourself between multiple people.
It's not.
So you did a very good job.
If I had to have a favorite moment, I guess it was the let's see here. It's got to be Mistress Reyna in her quarters. It's creepy. It's hot. It's weird a little bit. Who knows what's going on in here? There's these 3 beaten people that just do whatever she says. It's creepy. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Makes you feel like, am I supposed to enjoy this or am I supposed to not?
This is what's going on right now. Exactly. It's weird and unusual. I blame one of our other party members for this because he brings out the worst in me. And multiple campaigns. Let's see here. And then, of course, we have the reveal of Mrs. Reyna might know that Luther's been a bad boy, and we'll see what the repercussions for that are going to be. We'll see how that goes. She knows there's something wrong with him. Might be why she didn't smack him with her staff. She was probably a little fearful. Yeah. So there we go. Let's see. We are still doing viewer decisions. So before we close out officially, I have an interesting one. It is a trifecta choice once again. So 1 of 3. I'm not going to reveal exactly what it is because I don't want to give too much away. So we have 3 choices. Choices are Dawi. I don't know how the fuck you say them, plural. Cathay individuals or ogres. 3 choices. leave us a comment down in the comment section below, and that will decide something in the next session. We did get to meet our benefactor from 2 sessions ago, finally. The Lord Roland Hoff. So we got to meet our dignitary. And all that transpires with that. We'll get a whole bunch more lore dump, I'm sure. Try not to bore you guys too much with that. And of course, you get your round of the city. You get to do whatever you guys want for like a month. It's going to be awesome. We'll do endeavors. So to all of you out there, thank you guys very much for watching. Do of course make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you. And of course, leave that viewer decision. You can check out Dan. I've got all of his links in the description. He's got a ton of stuff he does, Twitter, all kinds of stuff. It's all linked down below. And thank you guys very much for watching. Yeah. And we definitely look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. So have a good day.